For anyone that has a self-limiting belief of where they're going to get the money from, just know this: money follows good deals. There's more money out there than it even knows what to do with itself, and they're looking for good deals. And so when you have this strategy, this lead strategy that comes to you, the money is right there if you know where to find it. So what I want to do today is, what if I show you guys a better way to drive your marketing budget down to zero? Would you take me up on that opportunity? If you can comment if you like, but is this starting to kind of start to click as to what this opportunity could be? If you have questions that we're going to go over a lot of those today, you can put them in the chat or in the VIP room. Today, we're going to have open discussion. I love to answer your questions because I've been doing this for so long. This is a giant opportunity if you do it the right way. I talked about it earlier. The 20 is plenty. Senior living has taught me something, guys, is that our most valuable asset we have is our time. Without question, it's our time. Back in 2011, when I started networking in senior living, I would go out to network with anyone in senior living, not knowing who would be my fruitful relationships and who was going to be good and who was going to be bad. And so my training is to help you not have to waste your time with the wrong people like I did. All of my training is based on my mistakes and what I did wrong and where I am today and what I had to do to keep overcoming to get to where I am today. And so when I say 20 is plenty, that's how many relationships you need to be successful at this business. You can build those relationships over time. I think you're going to start off with a higher number than 20. I used to call it the hot 100. You're going to go out and meet 100 people, but maybe only 20 people like me. I know it's hard to believe that everyone doesn't like everyone, but it's true. Not everyone likes me. Not everyone will like you. And that's okay because the senior living industry is so vast. I've been in this business now almost 12 years in the senior living side. I know maybe 10 communities here in St. Louis. There are 300 communities here in St. Louis. So after 12 years, I've not even scratched the surface of my own local market. That's how big this industry is. And that's why 20 is plenty and why I'm going to show you exactly who some of those job titles are today. When we look at this, we talk about why senior living needs you. Look at how it went from a pyramid shape to a rectangle shape. This is how many people, these boomers, are going to be over the age of 85 by the year 2060. 2060. It's the year 2022, guys. We're a long way away from 2060. So this change is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They call it the silver tsunami. And you get to be a part of that. If you do this right, that change is going to be your lead flow for the next 15 to 20 years. This is what we do. We alleviate the stress off of these families that say, I need to move. What do I do with the house? What do I do with the stuff? That is what Mom's House is. And so anybody in the chat, can you guys tell me what the original Mom's House logo is? What do we call this type of, not the logo necessarily, but what is the logo? What do you guys see here in the chat? Or putting in the chat what you see in this logo. Ryan, let me know when we have the right answer in there.
Yeah, we're slightly delayed, so it might just take a second. But.
Yeah, sure. That's not a problem. When I see this logo, I feel love, right? I feel like it reminds me of going over to my grandmother's house where she had 4 different pies sitting out. Needlepoint, somebody said. We're getting close. This is what's called cross stitch.
Tracy,
why? There you go, Tracy. Thank you. Why would the Mom's House logo be cross stitch in your mind? Thank you, John. It's simply this, guys. Every house that I go by has cross stitch in it. And what I love about cross stitch is, like, look at this one, for example. And the house of a friend and the road is never long. Cross stitch always usually has to do with something about a loving saying and a house normally, right? And so Mom's House, it was so obvious to me. It's like, these are the houses that I buy. Every house, that's what our moms did, right, Kathy? That's exactly right. This is what's in these houses. And guys, I could have taken thousands of these pictures. This is just some that I've taken over time. When God closes the door, he opens a window, right? It's always something to do with houses and love and family. And so cross stitch is in every single house that I buy, which means for me, this was, my son, when he was 5 years old, he made the thing on the left and my mom did a cross stitch for me of the one on the right. And so it's very near and dear to my heart, this logo, because it's who we help. And so this is me in the past, guys. I think this was probably 2014, 2015. If you notice, I'm at the post office again, trying to drop these letters in there. When I look at the picture, go ahead, Ryan.
Look at them pants. You can definitely tell it's
Yeah,
dated.
you can only tell by the cut of my jeans. It's not today, right? There are people wearing their jeans a lot tighter. What I noticed about that was the effort it took. It looks like it's probably the fall based on my outfit, but I noticed the pink stripe, pink marker on those letters. Anybody want to guess why there's a pink mark on every one of those letters? And I'll just tell you, the advice at the time was you had to stand out. And so anything that jarred your eye would be the thing that gets opened. And so I've tried every type of direct mail that there's ever been, lumpy mail, mail in a popcorn bag. I mean, have you ever tried to mail a popcorn bag? I've done it. And so the point is I've tried it all. So the origin story was this. I worked for a company that bought a couple hundred houses a year. And so we spent tens of thousands of dollars every single month on marketing. We'd sit there every Tuesday at our meeting and talk about what marketing's working, what marketing's not working, where we're spending money, where we want to spend money next. Tried it all. And if you keep the machine on, you can do deals as long as you have a big machine behind you to work through all those leads and buy those houses and know how to dispo of them. And so this is a different thing where if you have the business come directly to you, you get to pick and choose what you want to do with those properties. And so to be clear, if I haven't said this already, if you want to do flips, great. If you want to do rehab and renting them out, I hope that's what you folks want to do is turn these houses into rentals. How do we hedge against inflation? We own real estate. If you want to wholesale them, you can do that. What I want to caution wholesalers about is I also want to train you in a way to where you don't leave grandma standing there with her bags packed thinking she has her house sold. And if you didn't get it wholesaled, that you just back out of the contract. We can't have that in the Mom's House network. And so how do we help you with that? As Ryan said at the beginning, for anyone that has a self-limiting belief of where they're going to get the money from, just know this: money follows good deals. There's more money out there than it even knows what to do with itself, and they're looking for good deals. And so when you have this strategy, this lead strategy that comes to you, the money is right there if you know where to find it. So my origin story is very simply this: spent tons of money on marketing. I've failed many times. I've succeeded. I know what works, what doesn't work. And I just kept thinking that there had to be a better way. And so back in 2011, I was challenged with this. For every direct mail piece or every direct response deal we get done, Philip, can you go out and build relationships to get a deal for free, in essence? And so a lot of my counterparts went out and they would build relationships with real estate agents and with other wholesalers and other real estate investors to try to find their deals. And what I found, guys, is that those relationships last maybe 1 or 2 years before they fade away. Why? Because if you meet a smart wholesaler or a smart investor and they realize that you're just buying for them and then re-wholesaling them, they're going to learn what you're doing and bypass you. And if you're working with real estate agents, do you really think you're the only investor that real estate agent is working with? Of course not. And a smart real estate agent is going to get into real estate investing anyway. So once again, I found those relationships to be fickle. And that's when I started to look at the stereotypes of who my best sellers were. The word stereotype is funny. Sometimes we use it in a negative term, but in this case, it's a positive. What was the thing that was similar about every one of my sellers? And that's when the origin of the Mom's House story came about, is that mom has been doing the best she can. You know, dad passed away 8 years ago already, and she's been doing the best she can. She just fell down again. This time she's going to have hip surgery, and in 3 weeks when she gets out of rehab, she cannot move back to her forever home. The adult children are scrambling. They need to unlock the equity for care. It's the American way to pick out the most expensive community you can find. And her pension's $2,800 a month, but the place we picked out is $6,800 a month. Where is that $4,000 a month going to come from? Is it from my affluent brother? Is it going to be from my sister? Are they going to pay the difference? Or do they look at each other and say, man, we need to sell Mom's house? And that's what this business is based on.